Our first topic today is something that it's actually good news. For once on the show's history, we can actually say something good happened. Whether you love Trump or you hate Trump, he's the president of the United States and he survived the coronavirus. I'm not shocked. You're not shocked. I mean, 99.98% of people survive. And in his age category, 94% of people survive. That's with comorbidities. But as of October 1st, Trump got the Rona. And apparently he's doing just well. He was discharged from Walter Reed. He's back at the White House. He's living his best life. And you would expect that America would care for once that something good happened to the country. But no, America is sort of like one of the children for the Willy Wonka, the original one, by the way, not the Johnny Depp one. That was weird. They are brats. They can't seem to celebrate anything good. And they began complaining automatically about how Trump was destroying the entire country with his disease. There's an article, we're already bringing this up, as Trump did a drive-by, not the ones that BLM does. This is a different kind of drive-by, for his supporters who were outside. And the New York Times didn't stop to find a problem with it. They said, for the Secret Service, a new question: who will protect them from Trump? Regarding the fact that there was an entire uproar that Donald Trump put Secret Service members sort of at risk by making them be in the car with him because he had COVID. The very interesting thing about this is, as the left melted down and all of corporate media was awry, they forgot one thing. Whether they're in a car or at the hospital, the Secret Service's job is literally to be within a shoulder reach of Donald Trump at all times. So not only were the Secret Service with him in the car, they were with him in his hospital room. They were with him on his way to the hospital. They were with him on his way to the White House. That's their job. On top of that, the New York Times, so shocked that young men that are patriotic would give their life for the president, these people literally signed up to take a bullet for an orange-colored 74-year-old man with beautiful golden hair. I'm pretty sure if they would take a bullet for him in the chest, they wouldn't mind getting a little ching chang chong summer flu. That's really true. I don't think we're allowed to say that on the show either, because that's racist. So we wouldn't say that. What we would call it is just the China virus. But if we were racist, we would call it the ching chang chong summer flu. But we don't do that on this show because slightly offensive does not even come close to racist rhetoric. But I will note as well that the Secret Service had PP in the car. They were completely protected, but it didn't stop everybody else to melt down. Now, on top of that, something else happened that Trump did that everyone seems to be very upset about. Trump actually took off his mask at his house while he was outside. Now, believe it or not, the CDC does not recommend that you wear a mask outside, per se. They also say that in your own home, you don't have to wear a mask, especially when you're not around anyone. But let's watch this incredible video of the President of the United States doing something that I didn't think would be controversial, and that's just actually taking a breath outside on his porch. Now, if you're like me, I had my children exit the room. I said, "Get out of here, Gus. It's my dwarf hamster. You better go. Your little eyes can't see this." Nobody can see somebody take off their mask. I swear, this is like Saudi Arabian porn or something, right? I mean, what is this? Taking off the mask to see the face? What are we going to see, his ankles next? I mean, gosh, talk about mujahideen. Someone call the Taliban when you need them. He's violating his decency laws. What is Donald Trump doing? Well, I don't know. He's just taking off his mask, but the left went crazy. Madness, hysteria over this. In fact, not only were they mad that he took off his mask, they were upset that he did something even worse, which, as you're saying, did he zip down his pants? Did he pull his little wee-wee out? Is it the size of his short, stubby fingers? No, that's disgusting. My grandma watches this. Stop asking inappropriate sexual innuendos. We don't do that on this show. My son is in the next room. But I will tell you this. They were complaining that he was doing something. Let's read this. A headline. They compared him to an American Mussolini. Ex-Trump aide compares President Trump to a fascist dictator over his internment of 6 million. No, okay, hold on. Over a balcony stunt. This is end quoted from Anthony Scaramucci, who wants to come on the show. I had a drink with him in D.C. He is definitely has a mouth for honeycombs. I don't want to attack his appearance. I have the things I could work on too, but my gosh, what width on those masticating knockers there. Anthony Scaramucci said, and this is a quote, "You've got, I don't know, the American Mussolini standing on the balcony We've never had a president stand on the balcony and do what he just did. Well, first of all, I kind of want to shoot myself in the face just having to do this as a job and read this. But let's just not kill ourselves together, and let's take this word for word. So people were upset that Donald Trump stood on the balcony of his hotel room. It's essentially what it is, right? It's his home, but it's like a hotel because he's just staying there. It's the people's house. He took off his mask, and they are saying that that's something a fascist dictator would do. What I'd like to point out is I've also realized I might have fascist DNA in me because somebody pointed out recently, which I didn't know until yesterday, that Hitler and Mussolini both shared one thing in common. They breathed oxygen. And I thought to myself, oh shit. Oh my gosh. I breathe oxygen too. And since we're doing this thing that whatever fascist dictators did, that makes you a fascist, I'm thinking there's a little bit of fascism in all of us, even in Scaramucci, if he would acknowledge it. And I wish he was alone in being upset about this, but he's not the only one. CBS wrote after seeing this video, I felt safer reporting in North Korea than I currently do reporting at the White House. This is just crazy. And this commentator clarified that he was talking about COVID. So these journalists from CBS, you know how brave they are, and you see probably why they're not on the field with independent journalists and reporters like myself and many others, because they're more afraid of something that has a 99.98% survival rate, which they were not even exposed to probably, than they are of being in North Korea. And I wrote to this person and I said, really? I'll pay for your trip to go to North Korea because you're telling me that you could move around freely in Kim Jong-un's palace, criticize Kim Jong-un to his face, chastise his entire country, and you think you're safer than catching an exaggerated cold? And I'm not going to take it back. I do believe it's that. He's not the only one who was upset. CNN commentator said, to recap, we have a biological terrorist in the White House. What is Trump doing? Is he spreading the disease? No, he's just taking off his mask, standing on a balcony. But I agree with her. I mean, these are the tenets of a fascist. Washington Post, which sometimes is referred to as dog poop on the bottom of my shoe. Really, I looked at the bottom of my shoe one time, and I had just stepped on a pile of crap in LA, and I was like, dude, I have WAPO on the bottom of my shoe. People knew what I was talking about. Washington Post said, Trump outdid himself for bizarre and frightening behavior. He returned to the White House even though he remains contagious. He climbed to a balcony, took off his mask, and stood there, puffing and preening. I don't even know what preening means, but he was doing it. Don't preen in public, especially with your mask off. Because before handing back inside, he was still without a mask. Well, they act like this is like Trump not wearing a mask in his house is like somebody being like, oops, they pull out and they're like, sorry, I finished. Like as if he literally did something that could change the course of history forever. When in fact, the only history that Trump really changed were these poor, sad, and pathetic individuals who can't seem to understand that President Trump still is a citizen of the United States of America. And like most people with a high IQ, he knows the risks of COVID and he's not putting anyone at risk.